Good morning. I hope you had a lovely weekend. So, some of the things I'm going to read to you this today is actually from a guy called Panache Desai. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before, but he's absolutely beautiful. And so, what I'm going to say to you is going to be hard for some of you to hear, um, but let's just go with it. What if your life has already unfolded? What if everything you're experiencing has already happened? This is why, when you go and get your fortune read or you go to get your horoscope done, or somebody who's intuitive, you know, literally says something that's going to happen. Why is that? What if your life has already occurred and you're actually here just to witness the unfolding of that you've already created? A beautiful journey that you've decided for yourself, that you've come to know the love that you are. What if it's already decided? You know, what if you, like all the struggle, the strife, everything else that you're going through, you didn't actually have to? You can struggle, push, and strive, continue to do things the way you've always been doing them. But you and I both know it isn't working. And at some time, we're going to have to return to the flow. We're going to have to return to trust. We have to be able to surrender. And the more we let go, the more the highest outcomes come into being on our behalf. Imagine that. Do you want to be in flow? Is your struggle and strife working? Is it? It certainly wasn't working for me. And I know that the paradigms want to get hold of you, so your program wants to get hold of you and have you working so hard and so hard. One of the things that I realized is that, well, you are life in this body, and your life, spirit, God, energy, whatever it is you want to call it, quality before quantity. So, do you miss most of the moments because you're busy, 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 fitting in so much in your day? I used to be like, hands up. And I can still easily get back to that. What can we do? What can we do? Rather than being, how do I want to feel? Imagine if you've designed every single moment of your life, every moment of heartbreak, every moment of suffering, every moment of pain, every rejection, every abandonment, everything you've gone through, and you designed it so that one day you would wake up in the midst of it, and wake up in the midst of it, you would transform, and you could help others transform everybody else on the planet. Imagine you came here out of compassion, you came here out of love, that you're in a body at this time to live your life fully, to surrender to all the goals and all the expectations and all the outcomes, and to simply meet each moment fully, with every moment of your heart. Because the truth is, you'll never meet this moment again. This moment again. You'll never meet it again, and you're passing it by. Imagine that every blade of grass you'll see will never be the same. You'll never be the same just after even watching this little video here. If you were to truly relax into the flow and to trust and surrender all the greater unfolding of your experience designed by you, you'd begin to see that there's nothing to resist and nothing to overcome. That every single thing you've gone through, you were meant to go through. Wow. Imagine if you could actually just surrender and trust to yourself. Surrender to the perfection of life. So everything just happens the way it's supposed to happen. How much of resistance is that just let go? Think of it, your life in this body. You're not the body. Because if you chopped off your hand, or I heard it saying in one of the books, and imagine you'd gone through an operation and they cut you off, they had a little curtain and you had your head here and you were completely numbed for the rest of the way down, and you were able to stay awake and have this conversation, and they could chop off your legs, and I'd go, everything okay? You go, yeah, everything's fine. You see, you're not your body. Here's the other thing. You're not your thoughts, because you're aware of having thoughts, aren't you? You're not your feelings, because you're aware of having feelings. So who are you? And you know the way people say, well, I've got to be more consistent and persistent. You are consistent and persistent because you wake up every day being consistent and persistent. And I know you woke up because you're watching this. Aren't you the same awareness of yourself that you were when you looked in the mirror when you were 8 years old? Aren't you? Aren't you the same awareness that you were when you were 21? Thinking you had it all sorted and you had the answer to everything? Aren't you the same awareness that you're looking at yourself now? So you are consistent and persistent. And what if you were just completely awesome, but it was just a story you were telling yourself that was just saying that you weren't good enough, you weren't worthy, or whatever? You know, imagine if you completely surrendered to every outcome. You were completely open to every new possibility. Imagine if you did that. Imagine if you knew that there was an answer always inside of you, and that you had all the intuition and guidance available to you. Nothing has ever been denied you. All you have to do is remember who you are. Remember this conversation, this readjustment, this realignment, this reassignment to the fullness of who you are here to be. Imagine that you were a limitless self. Imagine that there's possibility. Instead of thinking of the future from the past, imagine if you thought of the future because it hasn't been created yet and you don't know what you're capable of. Imagine if you just let go of the outcome and you say, yes, this is what I want, this is what I'd love, that or better. Let it go. You see, what I realized is that I just hung on to the outcome way too much. Instead of just loving the moment that I was in, I was hanging on to an outcome that was just pushing it further and further away. You know, you and I have done this before. That's why this feels so familiar. Do you get it? Is it if I'm saying things to you and you're going, oh, that feels right? Because isn't it more wonderful to think that you're so blessed and that you are perfect than thinking that there's something to be fixed? Isn't that better? Doesn't that just feel better? Doesn't that just feel right? Yeah? What if you just surrendered one area of your life today? Just one area. You know, what took me under a sense of responsibility and sense of that I wasn't good enough and etc. etc. And then some things happened and I couldn't live my life thinking that everything, you know, things that I wasn't good enough. It wasn't helping anybody. You know, I can't be sad enough to help anybody. I can't be guilty enough to help anybody. I can't be tantruming enough in my head. I can't be critical enough to help anybody. I had to let go of certain situations that were happening in my life they just were. I just had to let go. And when you surrender, you'll find peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. This is your limitless nature. This is why you're here. To navigate this and every moment of your life from this place of power and peace, love and joy, and be able to move through the world calmly. The degree to which you let go is the degree to which you're able to open up greater possibility than you can ever imagine. Let me say that again. The degree to which you let go is the degree you're going to find some peace. As someone who was basically reduced to their knees in order to be forced into surrender, I ask you at this moment not to wait for that moment to come. Let go, let it all go, surrender it all. I promise you there's nothing worth holding on to. And what waits you on the other side of your surrender is peace. So listen, what can you let go of today? Yeah? What can you just let go of? Just one thing that's really dragging you under. Is it you want your goals? Is it you want somebody to be well? Imagine if you just surrendered it and you could have that peace. Then, whenever you can walk through your day, you can bring that peace to other people. Just imagine. What can you let go of today? Something you've been holding on to. Let it go. Have an awesome, awesome Monday.